tools we have, many of them don't use, like tools like Snap, for example, don't use collection two data once. They're not ready for collection two. Those you have to use collection one. One of the big advantage of Landsat collection two is that you can get auxiliary data. So if as part of your atmospheric corrections, you want to use all of these sources of atmospheric data, things that you have to, that you want to put in, like the pressure, the ozone, the atmospheric, the AOD, atmospheric optical depth, then these are really great because you can also download these products for your satellite. But they tell you these are only available for collection two. So they'll tell you these are only for the processing. So, and this is what they use themselves. So this is another reason why there is an advantage of using automatically processed data and others. It's because many of them are trying to use the state-of-the-art approaches. As you as researcher might think that the state-of-the-art is not good enough. You want to do it yourself. So you will choose whether you want to use NSAP or and et cetera, et cetera. The different sources of the data one needs to understand. You might not want to use them and only use the default of your software. So when you bring data to Acolyte or to Snap or to CDAS, they might ask you if you have your own atmospheric data and you want to use the default, and you want to change the parameter there. So things that you wanted to know is pressure. If you have because that determines the atmospheric pathway. Anything about atmospheric optical depth, spectral atmospheric optical depth if you can. So all kinds of things like this go into this salad that is used to produce. It's not an easy thing. Again, depending on what you're after. If you're just after relative signal, if you're after, if you're looking for something in a place that have a strong signal, it might not matter if you're, if you use this an average pressure as opposed to something else. So this is how you choose your satellites. What you want. If it's Landsat, and these are other, and there's other satellites from available from USGS. Why am I stuck in this? I'm stuck, and I'm probably stuck because I have too many of everything. Oh. Yeah, I selected these. Thank you. So here is collection 2 level 1, and you can have it all the way from Landsat 5, 7, 8. Collection 2 level 2 give you 4, 5, 7, and 8. You can click that and then click the other one if you want. So you chose what it is you want, and then you go into your search criteria. This is where you're gonna put in where it is you want your data. So easiest way is I'm just gonna move to the Gulf of Maine because I'm just really bad at remembering exactly where I am. So I'm just going, oh, here is Gulf of Maine, here is Portland. This is actually where I'm interested in data. So here is Portland. Here is, I'm now starting to zoom until I will see exactly Orr Island where I am. Orr's Island. Now here's Orr's Island. They even have the name on it. And I see Harpswell and Harpswell Sound right in the middle of the image. See here? This is where we are. Orr's Island, Harpswell Sound, Davis Island. We just went out yesterday and came back in. Pretty cool. The day before yesterday. So now there's different ways by which you can trigger. The one I like a lot is a circle because it's easy. I'm going to put, here is the center of the circle, and here is the radius I want data in. Okay. I went to circle on the left, You have polygon, circle, or predefined area. So I went to circle. Your first click is the center of the circle. Your second click is the radius of that circle. And you can change it. You can move, I can move the center of the circle somewhere else. I can move the radius after the fact. Okay, everybody is able to do that? So that's one way to do it. You might know already what, so the satellites have predetermined paths and rows that they go back and back every time with geostationary satellite. So if you know, it happens that the one you get here, it's one of the ones you get here, is 1130. 11//30. So I could also, another way to put it in would be to go at the top here, and I think it's the Geo Recorder. Or I know there's a place where I can put here. It's here at the top. It says address place or path row. If I go to select geocoding method, if I go path row, it tells me I can put path 11, row 30. Because I already know, and then it's going to show me where it is. Oh, did I get it wrong? No, I got it right. So it's the one that's here. It's much bigger than what I already traced before. So this is where it's going to pass. Oh, path. I don't see it anymore. 1130, I think it is. So, yeah. And then, but let's go back to the circle. I feel more comfortable with that. So plus, increase the size. Get my Horse Island, Harpswell Sound. My circle here again. I want it here. Oh, it tells me I already have one, so I'm going to clear it. Clear circle, and I'm going to put a new one, and this radius. So now I'm again having my. Okay, so finally we have to choose dates. The dates are below, and so we might want to do just the last few weeks. So I'll do July, maybe. I'll do it from July 20th or July 15th to today. I want all the images from July 15th to today so I can see if they're any good. And then I click on results. Now it says searching Landsat 8. And it shows me a bunch of images. And actually there are 3 different pathways that it shows you. One from the 29th that has a tiny bit of, you can see, if you click on them, you can have their, you have to click on the image. There's a little, the second from the left near the image is the picture that you're getting. So there's this one that is very cloudy over there, but it's fast here and it doesn't look that bad. Here is my circle. This is from the, so the first, how do you read those? These tell you it's level 2 SP, I'm not sure what it says. The first date you have there is, there's 2 dates, 2021-07-27 and 2021-08-04. My understanding is the date of passage is July 27, the day of processing is 08. So that's, we have an image from the 27 here. We have another image from the same day but a different pass. This is 12:30, this is 12:29, and this is 11:30. And then there's another one from the 20th. So this is the closest one in town to us, the 27th of July. Looks pretty clear. And then we have this one from the 20th. And here you see the path and the road. And that will always be the one. So when you're going to get. That's one way to get data. So if you want to get the data, you then click on, there's a little arrow that tells you, and then it says product option. You can get out the whole full bundle, or you can download just specific things you're interested in. which QA have to do with quality control. You have the separate bands, B1. If you're only interested in one, you don't need everything. If you're only interested in the thermal one, it's going to be B10 if you only want temperature. There's a whole bunch of things that you download in this GeoTIFF file that together for one image are almost a terabyte. So it's a lot of data. What? Terabyte. Oh, 1 gigabyte, sorry, 1 gigabyte, not terabyte, 1 gigabyte. 1 gigabyte, it's 1,000, almost 1,000 megabytes, 1 gigabyte, sorry. But it's still a lot when you're starting to do it for, since the 1980s. And when I talked to a friend of mine about this issue, that I think is an aberration, that we don't have coastal product at the resolution of the satellite, but he tells me it's just too much. It's too much of it. So we have to make decision of where we produce the no agency would want use them everywhere if it's not used. So then you download it and work with it. And we'll work with I'll show you how to work with this data, with some data soon. It's already uploaded for you. But anyways, any question about the Earth Explorer? Now, collection one, by the way, Google has a Earth Engine site where collection one is there. And some people like to work in the Google environment in Earth Engine. It's a special programming language that's required for people. It's very easy to find a lot of things. In One Ocean Optics, we had a person from Google come and show us all how to use it. But they tend to be older product and we don't tend to be updated. Older, like collection one is particularly. It takes time until it gets to this type of. Okay, so is this clear? Up till now, all clear? So we'll soon use, I'll show you an example how I use this image to derive, and we can use any of them, but sorry, yeah, this image to derive temperature right at the buoy of Collins. And then use this one. If you do that, it'd be a nice exercise. But so this is for this one. Now let's see if we can get data for Sentinel-2. So we learn how to get for Landsat 8. Let's see, just do a search. Sentinel-2. This is why I'm so frustrated. Satellite 2 data download. Sentinel data access. Okay, I go there. Copernicus, they say open up access. Great, I'm here. Okay, where do I go here? Open Hub, awesome. And then I can move to main, I can move to anywhere. I just can't, I don't know how to get the data I need. Yes. I'm Googling. I'm trying to do, I don't know what I'm trying to get the students is with me to get lost in the web trying to find download data. Can you, maybe you'll find that. I don't know. I don't know. Can you find that? What? So there is, I just heard from Meg that she could find some Sentinel-2 data in Earth Explorer. She doesn't know what the latency is when we talk about latency in a second, but in the data set, if you go to data set, so that usually explained in there. Sentinel, I see Sentinel, and I see Sentinel-2, and this is what they say. As of December 6, 2008, ESA started distributing Sentinel-2 data products with a shorter naming convention. All Sentinel-2 products are provided under the terms. Yeah, we can try and see if we can get those for. So we can go under the same, if you click them, if I now click them, I can go and see result that includes Sentinel-2. So that's going to search. No, it's still just do
or live. So up here. Here, yeah, here, Sentinel-2. Yes, and you're getting data for Sentinel-2. Awesome. It's 11.1c, so it's not adversary corrected, which is great. And I get 2B and 2A. So those, the advantage of these is that they have a much higher frequency. Every 5 days you get an image. Thank you, May. So this is another way to get them down. And again, it's going to be GeoTIFF data that you'll have to figure out a software to open. This is awesome. Great. So I don't know, did some of you manage to find Sentinel-2 data from ESA? So tell me how you do that.
From the Open Access Hub.
Open Access Hub.
Yeah,
Copernicus. Okay. Open Hub. I went to Open Hub. Okay.
Yes.
Why do log in? I think I'm this. I have to remember what my credentials are. Yeah. So on the left here, you can select the mission you want. Satellite platform will be Sentinel-2A or B. Product type, but how do I select the region where I want it to
Usually
be?
select the region first. Below that.
Here?
Yeah, and then you could draw a polygon around if you want. But first navigate.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I see.
Yeah, navigate to where you want, and then you could draw
Okay,
a square around it.
got you. So we have several people here that can teach us how to do it. It's not as hard as that thing, but we have a better tool than that. So you want to show them the tool that you developed, the GhettoC? For mass download, it's a better tool for mass download.
If you want one image, this is good. But if you want to download more,
I'll show them. So now let's say if you decided you want to do seasonal cycles.
Yeah.
Okay.
so if you go, I put the link on the website, and you can download the GhettoC software. So if you created your credentials on each of these platforms, you can access ESA and NASA satellites, and you have the list of all the satellites that are supported here and the levels. And the problem with Copernicus that I faced is that you cannot go to find data older than 1 year ago. So
But nothing.
you can, like, it's maximum 1 year old.
Oh, I see. You cannot go 2 years back
No.
and get data.
Well, you have to order the data, and then they send it somehow, like in a few days later. But it's not really practical. So I found this other platform, which is Preodius, and there you can find your data. You can actually navigate as you do on Copernicus. But if you use GhettoC, you can download 1 year of data, or if you have a cruise, you can follow your path and get daily data of your So if you want matchups along your inline data, for example, that's what we do. You basically create one Excel like CSV table with your latitude and longitude. So you have your site station name here, site 1, site 2, site 3. You have the time in UTC and latitude and longitude. And the program will just query each of these lines and get all the images of the satellites you want with the level you want that are that does the matchup with this line. And so that way you don't have to worry about anything. You just run your program in Python and it downloads everything. So do you want to test it now or Emmanuel?
Sure, I mean,
Yeah.
can we get a week of data for the location of the week?
Yes, yeah. So I put on the website, if you go here.
And we did not, it's not, it's not this magic show where we, it's all. Really
So-
asked me, we did not think about it before.
So I just added the package Lab16 in your data folder. Here, Lab16. And you will find an example of the CSV file you can create. And in this one, I just put one line, but you could eventually add, for example, a week or a month. But let's start with a week, because if you start downloading all together, I think it's going to take ages.
So how do you tell it for a week? Instead of just each day afterwards?
Yes, like that.
It's a .csv file.
Yeah. So here I'm on Google Sheet, but you can. So basically, this is I just extended for a week. And so you would have, it will query every day. So you download the CSV file, you put your, download the program from GitHub, and then you can, you would have to, I usually, to keep something clean on your computer, I usually create an environment with the package that are required. And I think for this one is, you can directly install Panda requests, and I will help you if you want to give it a try. So you copy your GhettoC in your folder, and then if you open the terminal, you know how to use the terminal. How many can play with the terminal? So the one that don't know how to play the terminal compared to the one that knows how to use.
So this works with MSI, so that's this is Sentinel 2. From less than 1 year, as long as you want Aug6, which is Sentinel 3. I have no idea what STR is.
This is a Sentinel 3, but for temperature.
Oh, I see. Then Modis A, Aqua, Modis Terra, the VIRs, there's 2 VIRs, but there's only 1 VIR. Series, OCTS, CBCS, Mary's, Heiko.
There is the 2 actually. Yes.
There's a 2. And then whatever level would you interested in getting. And for those of you who work with AGC Argo, this is a great way to do matchups. The satellite, because you just give it that long in time of when the float came up, and it's going to find the most of those. Years ago, or whatever. Chelsea, this is this all the time.
So basically, once you have your code, you edit your CSV file, your CSV table. You have your columns with the lines that people need to, and then it's gonna run the code and query all the lines, and that was one of the example of the line that you can use. Once you get the data, once you get yeah, if we run it. So just
Following in the terminal command, is that the location of the Excel file?
so you put your Excel file in the same directory as the GhettoC code, and then you read the specific file. I can show you here. So I have my table here. I put it in this directory here. I have the GhettoC and the table. I don't know if you see, but yeah. And then once I am in my terminal here. I'm in this directory and I just have to run this command. So it will basically run the program. Yes. Yes, probably. Let me try.
It's you go to the read in the Python.
There is the same command.
Yeah, you just copy and paste that there.
At the end of on the GitHub. And so if you want to download Sentinel 2, you change here MSI, and you can have level 1C, and there is also level 2A, but it's atmospheric corrected, but it's not great. So I would advise you to take the 1C. And there is after, this is my CSV file name, for a week of data, and the credential of Creodias. So this is my email, and it will ask me the password. This option is if when it queries all the files, it will write the name of the images. So you don't have to query again. You can start the download and it will read the image name and pass where to go in the internet to download the image directly. It's to save time. So here, the first time you run it, you put a dash. How do you, yeah, I would try to do that on terminal. How do you like it? Ah, yeah, nice.
That's the whole screen.
Just this one. You see that? And so if you run it the first time, you write a -w, it will write the image name. And if you want to rerun it, re-download it, if you have already wrote the image list before, you will change this one and put an R is for read. But here is the first time I will put a W, and then you define the box around the size of the box around your point that you want the image to overlap. So any image that will overlap this 1 nautical mile around your query point will be downloaded. It is a circle. Yes. Yeah.
So this is the nautical miles, the last one around the point.
Yeah, I put nautical mile because this is how I like. Sorry. If you want a really large area and you want to merge different images together, you can put 200 nautical miles. That's what I do. And so I have an image. I have several images around an island, and I can merge them and do one full image of the island, one composite of image. This is what I do, and that's why I'm using a lot this program. But here we want only the GUI, so we put 1. We don't have extra data that is not useful. Wait, because yes. So you put your username in the command line, and then once you start the code, it will ask you, it will prompt for the password, and you enter the password, and it will log in to the website and download the image.
I just wanted to see. Well, I tried that. Oh.
So you have the whole.
Yeah.
So you want to- Did you guys finish? Some of you?
Daniel, which website was CMR? I think it would be done because we saw many algorithms IT problem. I think it's not the IT. Yeah.
The first one. Deep cut images.
But yeah, 20% will be cheaper. I usually do 1%. I found that one million
Yeah. Let me see if I can figure it.
So we go to.
Yeah, I will show you how to do that. Yes. I'll show you, I have the YouTube.
Il y a toutes les animés, et il y a aussi les images.
Where is it? Guillaume, I don't see lab 16. I only see lab 11.
Where I'm gonna put you. Here. This. Have you launch presents? Launch what's selling that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, it was for your file. If you want the files, it should have been- Fine, maybe.
Some bases and some bases. Otherwise, there's someone who buy.
Okay, so we talked about the fact that beyond guys, can we continue? So you know where you got stuck in the GhettoC or where what could be useful for you if you have a data. And Ellen, particularly for you, if you have floats coming up in the ocean, different time, different date, it allows you to just get a big table to find this stuff for you. So what other data do you think you may need? In addition to this, there's all this issue of if you want to do a high-end atmospheric correction with data, you can use Mira. There's a whole variety of products that you use in order to get all the atmospheric parameters that allow them to mirror and get better atmospheric. So the issue of latency, if you get stuff that's very recent, you might not get the atmospheric data you may need to do the correction you want. So for some stuff, you may need to wait to get all the parameters. So people use short latency in meteorology, because they need some meteorology. If you don't need something all the time, now, waiting might be worthwhile because you can get a better product, a better scene than what you. So there's issues of latency depending on precise load. Okay. So the different environment that I've seen people use and people in my lab use, there's NASA's, and each one of them has advantages and disadvantages. And today we're going to get to play with CDAS and with acolytes. The reason some in my lab use polymer is because they found its atmospheric correction, it's a neural network based one, to work better for them. And what I'll tell you in a second, better for them than the standard atmospheric correction that you have in each one of these packages. Acolyte have their atmospheric, they have two different atmospheric corrections. CDAS has its built-in atmospheric correction. SNAP has its different built-in atmospheric correction. And so sometimes you'll find yourself having to deal with one or the other just because of that, and check and do multiple ones until you settle on the one that works better for you. Now, what does it mean work better for you? That always means that in the end, you need data to validate whatever you have, whatever you derive, so you can assess what the uncertainty is and how well it works. Any one of these packages or will generate products. You're going to get SPM. You're going to get, they have a variety of product chlorophyll based on OC3, chlorophyll based on OC2, a whole variety, CDOM based on GIOP. But how do you know if it's any good? The only way you can assess whether it's any good is your measurement inside. This is why you want to do it. But in essence, what we do often with remote sensing is extrapolation. Extrapolation and interpolation. So we have some data in the environment. not as high resolution as the satellite videos. And we use the satellite really to circulate in between in space and in time and around it. If we have no validation data, you know, I take it with a giant grain of salt. The data is not here. And we have a great example that just came out today. Today, the paper came out with Kelsey. I mentioned it before, where she sees seasonal cycles in MODIS that she does not see in MODI, which is the buoy used to calibrate MODIS long term. She sees seasonal cycles that are on the order of 20%, that result in 20% profile that's 20% off relative to what it should be. Mostly likely due to the atmospheric correction. And we see it only in places that have very, where the ocean is very clear, with very low bias. That's where it seems to be more. But that's a bias, which means that if you study a Nino, La Nina, or whatever, you might be in dubious territory because nobody has ever done this type of matchup. To see what are the uncertainties and what are the so you're just as good as the data you compared to, and it might be sufficient. You might say, good enough for me to be within 1 unit of chlorophyll for my aquaculture question. Because for aquaculture, I need to be between 0.5 and 5 milligram or 10 microgram per annum. The accuracy of 0.1. I don't care about it. And when I compare it to my two colleagues, buoy, despite the fact that she's using fluorescence, and we do some NPQ correction or whatever, but she has some data of those fluorescence with uncertainties to chlorophyll, but I can check that I'm within the bound I want to be. And it gives me a certain confidence in my product. It might be that if I use polymer, I'm on average not biased, but if I use ESA's snap with its atmospheric correction, I am biased. So this is how I'm going to choose which one of those I'm going to do. I'm going to try several, one of them, or the first one would give me something that works again, meaning it agrees with data inside to the degree of uncertainty I'm comfortable with. I'm going to settle with that. Okay, so there's no currently there's here no agreed upon right way to do things, and the right way is really does it match with data. That's the only way. Yeah.
Just pick something that matches your data. Or if you cherry picking results.
You totally cherry pick results. But you're cherry picking results relative to something that you know is of certain uncertainty. Okay. If you have nothing to know, it doesn't have to be your data. It could be college data. You know, I'm interested in putting an oyster facility here. It's not my data, it's college data. I can talk to it and see to what degree is it matching, you know, the lab standard that she uses for chlorophyll, and this will get an uncertainty of other data. But I have this sample, and what we call ground truthing. And often what will happen is people will use their package of sorts, and then when it doesn't agree with local data, say, I don't trust the data. I trust my process, I don't trust it. So now, not joking. We hear it all the time. So this is the best. The best you have is what people collected. Trust them that they've done an honest job of giving you the best that can be measured. And again, the uncertainties are large, but you want to see that your satellite, whatever you want out of the satellite, the RRS, the SDN, the usability, which includes other algorithms on top of RRS, is consistent with your measure. No, everybody is remote. It's open data. Question. So the question is, so MOBI is used to do what's called vicarious calibration. What happened is we throw a satellite up in the air. It's been calibrated on Earth, but the calibration in space is very difficult to do. Look at the moon and use the reflectance of the moon is coming. there's a variety of ways to try and track whether it's drifting, and also whether just the fact of putting on the rocket through space have shaken enough all the components to get slightly, things misaligned. And also, it's in a very harsh environment. So we use MOBI, it's called really system vectors navigation, because you're not only doing the sensor, it's not like you're putting a target next to the sensor, here is my flag, look at my flag, and they do put flag also on satellites. It's the whole system, including the way you treat the atmosphere. Because that's part of the system. So if your atmospheric correction is bad, you're assessing a change, including what the atmospheric correction. Now, you're absolutely right. The problem of doing it in MOBI might be that there are certain peculiarities to this site that are not shared by everything else. And if you had more sites around, you'd do a much better job in assessing that. And yes, there's currently in the US 2 systems that are funded for PACE. At first, they were competing against each other. Now it seems like they're letting both of them achieve. One is a portable MOBI. Portable MOBI means another MOBI-like facility. It takes a whole container on a sheet of site. And the idea is being able to install it in other places. And the other approach is called the IPRNAV. It's a profiling float with 2 LU, very high quality LU acknowledgments that you can plug anywhere in the globe you want, with the idea that you can cover them after the fact, so you have post-calculation. Then you can deploy a whole slew of those. Let's say you deploy 5 in different environments, and you have many more matchups, particularly at the beginning of a mission, to make sure that if there was a big offset due to the fact that we got a rocket sent into space, that you capture the really fast. You don't have to wait, as they did for Morris. I think initially they waited several years until they had enough matchup data to start treating it. Great question. And it's definitely an issue. It's definitely. And I was there for 10 days before coming back to the class, testing this out of the internet for younger. And it's not an average ocean condition. It sits, you get, at this time I was there, you get a lot of winds between Molokai and the night of the night that are accelerating, and a lot of white caps around almost every day is work. Several kilometers before we got to the buoys, everything is calm. You get to the buoys, all choppy and white. So what gives? Maybe it's just that week. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything, but it's. And also, when you look at the sky, so now we have those satellites that give you clouds in areas several times a day. And we were there, we see clouds on the horizon, not right on the sun. And when we look at the website several days later, it's considered a good matchup. There were clouds, in several places in the environment. It's not a perfect, what I would consider a perfect sense. How prevalent is this? I don't know. So there's many issues like this that you wonder when you use a single site. There could be a bias that's associated with that side. That's part of what motivated us to go with that. To be able to do that criteria celebration for many places. So does any of you use something other than these? Or use something different? Yeah, it's instant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So she uses parameter accuracy towards, which is also as it's called. Yeah. Polymer is it spectral optimization? I think that
It's a pretty good.
yeah, so it's not wrong.
It's still the problem.
Yeah, so the C2RCC is the role. So we have a student, you've seen him here. And he's doing all the comparison of all of them. From both names to see which one. Works better. Yeah, and he found for years, polymer seems to work best. And it's not just a choice of atmospheric correction, it's also the choice for an algorithm. So once you do atmospheric correction, you use an algorithm to derive a product. And it's unique, it's this combination that will give you the correct result. I mean that this atmospheric correction with this algorithm work better than this atmospheric correction with the same or with a different algorithm. So you have a large space where you're trying to finally get where you want to go. That's, you know, for whatever, SDN, core field, depending on what you're asking.
For given region,
I mean, you can come up with your own. Again, it's really, when you think about it, what it really is the essence of interpolation. Between data, we're finding a scheme that will give us something between the data and the stress. And that's it's an ugly thing. It's because there's empiricism involved, but it's a really tough problem. We have 90% of the signal which is atmosphere. And we're trying to get the ocean in places where we know, maybe the position of SPM is different just today. For that, these are all things, but the nature of the particle. So why should we expect the same algorithm? So, it's part of that. There is no one SPM, as there is no one door. Go through diagrams, different door from single copies. They could have a different signature. So if I'm dominated by single copies, I might get a different, I might need to choose the algorithm. Yeah. I grant you it's less robust. Then if you have something that works everywhere, it's what it is. It's the reality of our what we're trying to do. It's not an exact science. I mean, the rate transfer problem is an exact science problem, it's physics. But it's going from this to find a geochemical particle is a mess. Clear? You want to break the water? Very good. So the next thing I want to do with you guys is to do acolyte. We bring into it a Sentinel 2 image. We generate product as well as RRS. We subset the region for which we're going to get stuff, and using its own default atmospheric correction and default parameters. But before we can do it, some of you are on Macs, and your Mac freaks out and you try to look at it. So I found it. So the way I solved it several days ago was I found a YouTube movie that explained to me how to fix it. So I'm going to put it up for you guys. Let's see if I can find it. Where's my new YouTube? Yeah, it's this guy. Let's see if I can do it big. It's really we need to listen to him to be able to understand. It's more listening to him than anything. So here's what he says.
Right, but all of the libraries in Python, and to show you really quickly what the number of libraries that you would have to enable looks like.
In seconds, guys.
You go inside, you download a file, and then disk, so Acolyte py pack, disk, and Acolyte, all of these files have to be accepted. And many of the files inside of each have to be accepted. I think it's like 1,000 or so, at least a few hundred. I mean, if I Control A or Command A, look at how many files this is. It's a lot, right? So it's certainly not something where we want to go through it manually allow each of these. So what this allows me to do, this says this is you can actually look up the documentation SBC for this man line. You could also use the man. Oh, this is, we should show that. Let's go here, because my clock is actually not.
It's going into all kind of weird
It's
direction.
okay. I would need to fix something with my clock.
Is using something called SPCF.
Today it's currently not 10:49. But if I wanted to, I could also just use man here, SPCTL.
SPCTL, sorry, SPCTL.
You could learn about the security assessment system policy. And what I've done, you can use Q to these manual things if you brought it up. And so what this does is it disables all of the security around installing unknown programs on your Mac. You may want to enable this after you're done using Acolyte.
So let's see if I can find back that command. I'm gonna try and see if I can get. If I can find the one I used before. It's not here. Let's see if I have it in my. I'm just looking to see if I can find this command that he's saying, so I can give it to all of you and we'll be done. As opposed to you trying to listen to it because it's impossible. I cannot see that on my computer now. And okay, let's see if I can increase the resolution of this thing to be able to see the command that he's
So
at.
this is something to definitely consider. For you. So now I've disabled it. So if you just run sudo, now actually make
So you just did the command and we want to go back and see exactly its command, but I cannot. Maybe somebody with good eyes can come and see this, what to write, because I cannot. Can you see the command that he has here?
Man SPCTL.
No, that's just, yeah, but the command itself with the SBCTL.
So it's
It's this one, no, sudo SBCTL. So it goes like
dash
this.
dash master dash disable.
Okay, so this is how on a
There
Mac,
is some,
you disable all your connections. To allow you to put Acolyte on your open Acolyte.
Re-enable them when you're done. For top security.
Yeah, so here you can see that.
Thank you.
So sudo SPCTL -- master -- disable.
I think I got it though.
Maybe you've done it like that.
If you get it up,
One of GitHub works. But that's for the one that you get off the. So is everybody able to open Acolyte? Not yet. I'll wait. Right? I use this one, so I did it like this, but you may. The link to GitHub is GitHub Acolyte. Here, Acolyte generic, where's the GitHub link? Here it's a GitHub, here it is. Here is the link, so it's under Acolyte, I get LS2, is this what you use? So this is LS2, this one. This one. Yeah, so this is the one, this is the GitHub page.
Wait, I don't need it.
No, it's not.
it's just Acolyte.
Acolyte, not Acolyte 2.
The thing is on the previous one, go back.
About Acolyte, go back to where?
Go back twice. probably.
Take off the dash underscore LS.
Yeah.
This one? So Acolyte and / Acolyte. That's what people have used. It works for them to download on. So the new generic version was started February 4th, 2021. Again, the person responsible for it took the class, I think, 6 years ago, Quinton. So is it working for you guys? Are you stuck? You all get it? So if you look at the student directory, find important to you. Oh, awesome. So now in the student directory, there should be a file. Where is the student directory? Lab. Here. Under lab 17, there should be OC file for CDAS. Is this the one? No, that's CDAS. I'm not doing CDAS. Where am I thinking? There's a Landsat. Where is the Sentinel? Ah, here. You see a zip file? That's the one you want to use to open. So download this to your computer. Download anyway. So I'm downloaded a Sentinel 2B scene from. It's in lab 16. At the bottom, there's a zip file. So I'm downloading that one. Now it's very slow because all of us are doing it at the same time. Yay! Why didn't we think about that earlier? I feel like it's for anything. And I mean, it's for Sentinel 2 and it's for high resolution. So we have to do closer. No, but you can apply the same approach. So going back to what I said before, we can use different atmospheric correction. You can develop your own atmospheric correction. I mean, we're in research here. So if atmospheric correction is what turns you on when you wake up in the morning, you can think of how to do your own or how to. So you don't necessarily need to use any of the environment we're talking about to do atmospheric correction. You can learn that up with itself on your computer. It's not rocket science, but it just requires a lot of details and a lot of food. Yeah.
What's this?
Yeah, he works in very high payment environments. So everybody got the data and what That's okay. We'll wait for you. We'll wait for everybody. If you're waiting, go get coffee, go stretch, go to the restroom, go down. Do the hokey pokey.
Yeah, I'm comparing 4 different. What's best, now we have data for not
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to see that. Yeah. Right now, we have over 100 but
So my data downloaded. Double click on that. No. What you're learning now is how the sausage is made. It's ugly, but that's a sausage. This is how the sausage is. That's what it is. I don't know if this is- No, this is- no, this is- no. No, it's on OSA, but it's let's see if I can. He didn't copy it for you. Here it is. I'll copy it. Here, I put it up. I just added it to your directory. I just added it, Nick. What you need to download the data here, the Sentinel 2B data that you find here, and then 0723. Did everybody manage to get that data set? Everybody. I only see yes. No. This Sentinel 2B data. Did you get it?
Yes.
Everybody? Everybody's running away. Run for your life. Did you use, So you like that, so what?
This has more,
But
more.
you're getting much.
we might have one piece of it.
Okay, is everybody back? Everybody has an active rule? Okay.
Yes.
Everybody's sugar full, ready to go? Okay. So now we'll open several windows in parallel, which I can see Colin's gonna shoot at me. Colin, maybe you should sit further forward. Okay, so here is my Acolyte window. I'm gonna select as input the .save file we just downloaded. Okay, so I'm going to go to where we just downloaded. Which one? It's this guy, but why don't I see the opened one? I thought I unzipped it. Maybe I didn't. Okay, now I unzipped it. Twice I unzipped it. Thank you. But how? Date modified, that modified. I don't see the unzipped file. That's. I don't see my .save file. Either here. Here it is. No, that's an old one. Is this the one? That's it. You're right. So I'm going to choose this one. Where do I get? I need the.
I just did the whole.
Yeah, I just going to do exactly what you did. I'm just going to go down. Thank you. And I'm going to do the save, and I'm just to choose this. And then for the output, select output. I'm going to put it on my desktop, and I'm going to do a new folder, just simply because so it's easy. I'm going to call it cached, create. That's where the output's going to go. Choose. Now I already have coordinates. So these for Aug6 sound. So 43.65, 43.9 for south and north, minus 70.05, and minus 69.9 for west and east. Now that's very convenient because in essence, I'm already telling the software, just do it for these blocks. I don't need the whole giant path, which makes it runs much faster. It takes about 25 seconds, maybe a little more than that to get to do what I do. So 43.65, 43.9, minus 70.05, minus 69.9. Okay, and then 0.9 minus 69.9. And then there's a whole bunch of parameters you can get out. So let's see which one they are. So for this, we're going to open the manual for Acolyte. So let's go find the manual for Acolyte. I know it's not in my gene. It's not in my genes.
I got it.
It's not in my genes to open any manual, but even though it's in my name, but not in my genes. So here it is. Just above the downloads, there's a thing called manual, which I highly recommend that somebody reads before they. I didn't say that I read it, somebody reads. And they talk about a bit the history, the type of atmospheric correction that they use. By the way, these are the people, it's the same lab that did the BRDF for coastal environment. Talked about before. Is it Young and Roddick or something like this? So they've been at this problem for many, many years. They talk about the Glick correction they do. So they have their atmospheric correction is what's called the DSF. And that's the one that comes in as your DSF stands for dark spectrum fitting. So they look for dark, they look in your image for the darkest spot, and they use that as part of their atmospheric correction. So maybe, so in this case, you might want a large scene because it's going to find the most unique point in your scene that is black. And so the moment they have a black, if anything is black in your image, you now know the atmosphere, assuming it's the same atmosphere everywhere around. So just to remind you, the way currently atmospheric correction is done by NASA is a pixel by pixel atmosphere. It's not the same for the whole image. When they go every pixel, they calculate the atmospheric correction. Now, atmospheric scale are bigger than oceanic scale. But in coastal environment, you might have, lines of fog, all kind of things that might maybe cause variability. But in many of these packages, the assumption is the atmosphere is still there, which is not right. But just know what is assumed. So it's doing this dark spectrum fitting. It also has a different one called the exponential extrapolation, but the default one is this DSF. And then I'm going to go further down and I'm going to look for the products that it generates. So you can see the GUI and stuff like that, but there's a place where they tell you all the different products. I know I'm going to make you seasick. I'm going to make you seasick, but I'm going to just don't look. This is the time where you don't look, you eat. I'm just looking for the products that we can then use in the thing. So you can run it in command line mode. So another thing, this can also, just like CLAS and like Snap, you can do everything in command line. But today we want to work with the GUIs because that's a little more visual. And obviously when you do command line, you can do batch, you can do many images, you can do a whole variety of things. But here, what I'm looking for now are the products to put in the line under the page 24. So I'm going to 24. L2W algorithm. So these are the different things that are option output for you. And the way you take them. So let's say I want SPM of Nishad. I simply copy that into my window here, L2W parameter, and put a comma. I'm going to get SPM from Nishad. I love Nishad. I know her. She's awesome. I want, but maybe I like the one from 2016 better than the default one. So I can do the 2016 one that's more optimized for this satellite. There's turbidity from Nishad, turbidity from other people. There's chlorophyll. Maybe, which chlorophyll do we want? Do we want a chlorophyll that uses the red edge because there's very high chlorophyll in my region? Do you want the chlorophyll from Mishra? Any one of those you can put in and it's going to generate it for you. So you have a whole slew of algorithms, and with all those we'll figure out maybe which one is best for the conditions we have near the food. So, I can take a chlorophyll. I'll take let's do an OC3. Yes, please. You get the RS, so you can afterwards do your own RS. These are canned. These are canned in, but you get all the RSs from which you can do whatever ratio or optimize things you do for yourself. And you can come up with your own coefficients. No, but you can ask Quinton and happily put it in. If you published it, he will add it into the software. It's really nice.
So you select it.
The reflectances you get, so the reflectances you select on the bottom. So the bottom say RGB, ROH, sorry, that's page. Yes, you have to select to get reflectances. So everything you want, let's go back up at the top. You want RRS, you tell it that you want RRS. And if you put the star, it will automatically do all the bands. I think you can do each band individually. So let's try it with the star. I think that's, so I'm just doing RRS now, but I could do, okay. Now, it has in the back, if you go to where you downloaded Acolyte, you're going to see the configuration file that will describe to you what it assumes. For gains, it assumes all the gains are 1. If you think they should be different, because Polygon in a paper 3 years ago said it should be 0.98 for the red and 0.93 for the whatever, then you can fix it. You can change it to whatever you think they should be. Or if you know that that ISA is already applied the new gains, then you don't have to apply gains different than one. But if for whatever reason you feel that the gains are incorrect, you can tweak those. And those are in the configuration file. In the configuration, well, let's open a configuration file just so we get to see. Let's see where Acolyte is hidden on my computer. Acolyte. Here it is. File for Mac. If you go and look at config, so under config, you're going to find a whole bunch of things, which are the defaults that Acolyte uses. Can you all open? I cannot open it bigger, can I? Yes, I can. Here it is. And all these different options are things it's going to tell you about. So it's using for masking. So there's masking and masking threshold. Mask for Cirrus Cloud, what the threshold we use for that, and that's based on the infrared waves, atmospheric correction setting, dark spectrum, but this can be changed. All these things are the option that if you don't care about, you let it, that these are the defaults, but if you do, also the exportation, if you want geotiffs to go out, to be exported, you say true, and coordinates, etc., etc. All these things you can export by saying true. And you can export them either in GeoTIFF or in NetCDF. And what you're going to get now is NetCDF, because that's the option that's written as true. The other thing is going to come in NetCDF. Those of you who use MATLAB or Python, which tools you open any NetCDF file. The nice thing with NetCDF file is they tell you, they describe in the file what's in there. So it's very convenient. You can find your chlorophyll, you can find and how to find it. So, but all these things can be changed. And it will also generate a whole bunch of JPEGs. So you can look at the product and say, I like this product. This looks really good, or I don't, this is shitty, or whatever. Okay, so these are the default one. You can save as you're running. No, I don't want to change anything. What do I say? Revert changes. Okay. You can have your own configuration file that you can change things in, and it saves so that you can save them for future runs. Okay, so once I did all this, I can save the parameter by just clicking on save to save the setting. I can give it as a name, config. I can give it the date, August 6, 08, 06, 2021, setting, save, and then I do run processing. What's happening? Is it running? I hope it is. If I go to my terminal, it is running. Is it? Yes, it's running here. So again, I'm going to open this and yes, it's running, and you can see how it goes from. I'm going to open it bigger. It's doing one band at a time. It's currently, and the smaller your box, the faster it goes. But for the dark, we need something a bit bigger so we can find a dark pixel. So it's currently doing it, and it tells you also where it's writing into. This is the NetCDF where it's reading. Yes.
Just access is denied data.
So that's, you're going back to that issue of going in, I think, and doing this command that you talked about. That's your computer. What was that command? The one I found on YouTube. Yeah, sudo. It's the one from, let me see if I can find that.
It's okay.
YouTube movie. Here, it's here. Here it is. The command is sudo spctl -- master -- disable. Can you read that?
Yeah, it's Windows computer.
Oh, then I'm a little lost, sorry.
Mine did say that it was not allowed to use. But then it ran.
So did you 43 point for latitude 43.65 and 43.9?
Sign out.
I'm at band 12, so your computer is much faster than mine. Good for you. So now you can open the JPEG files and see, just to look at the product. So many of us have different kind of errors, which goes back to what happens when you have something that somebody from the goodness of their heart is sharing with the community, and it doesn't necessarily work with every one of our computers, and then we have to go to forums and ask people for ratings and ask people for help, because we have this thing. Very often, if you go to the frequently asked questions, you get FAQ on the website, you find the problem you have with somebody else that encounters that. Sometimes you might be the first. Which is very exciting. But it's the beauty of the sharing communities is that we have these tools available to us, but you know, it's a community project. Everybody's teaching, everybody tries to help, everybody figure out the different bugs and communicate them so we all have that. And, what? Mine is still going. No?
I just did four filter.
I'm in band 12. I see. It's still going, no, so I'm getting the AOT as well. So did you open the JPEGs? Did they look nice? Did they look like you get it structured? You got the whole bunch of.
What is this?
This is the area that's supposed to be bounded by the box. But it doesn't, it should have been the sound.
Oh, darn it, I just did it earlier.
That explains it. She went online. So it takes about 2 minutes per band. Interpolating, reading, reading. So Bing runs stuff when it comes to doing this for the whole domain, it goes to the super. No way to do it. Your machine. Mapping macros. So now it's generating all these JPEGs. All these PNG. Sorry, PNG. Okay, it finished here. I know it did not finish on yours, and maybe you're stuck.
I have water now.
You have water. She has water.
Where'd you look for it?
No, she put the wrong coordinates. So you go to your output file. Here is my SPM. Here is my SPM. Is it good or bad? I don't know, because I did not compare it yet to Colin's image. But I have an SPM map. And you can see that it's higher. It's higher where I'd expect it to be higher and close, and it's lower in other places. You see a bunch of boats as well. So, you know, this is so high resolution that if there's a boat in the picture, you're going to see big particles. The big particles. Collins buoy is here.
See it?
I don't see it, but maybe it's contributing to higher reflectance. So this is just a JPEG output. Oh, and sorry, not a JPEG, it's PNG, it's PNG files. But there's PNGs for every, this is my blue wavelength. Not a lot of change that I can tell given this range, but the range is the range in your image. So it's really hard to, for the ocean, we don't see the gradients here. But what other product did I ask for? Chlorophyll, let's look at chlorophyll. This is the band, this is the chlorophyll one, let's see. Tau band, no, where's my chlorophyll? SPM, RGB, chlorophyll, OC3. This is chlorophyll. Is it good or not? I don't know. But I have a buoy that I can then compare to. But you see a gradient. It's obviously higher inside than it's outside.
That makes sense.
And it's different than the SPM distribution. So that means, oh, good. At least I get different information. It's not all the same. Everything looks the same. I'd be worried. So again, the only way we know that anything is any good, and you get a log that comes out that describe all the parameters. Any questions that I may or may not be able to answer? Yes. So I think there's one for the basic parameters and then one for everything else you've added. So the L2W are all these extra products. And then there's the reflectances, I think, the level 2 and level 1 reflectances.
L1R and L2R.
Yeah. The top of the atmosphere and you can see how pretty cool. So we have the buoy. So anybody here that wants to do closure study, this stuff and check if this works, can check it against the buoy that measures reflective. We measure radiance and P radiance.
So that's just that's one single image.
Single image. But in a batch mode and in command line, you can run as many as you want. Pretty cool. And this you can do in class.
Yes. So my next question would be, I need to see if I can get that image.
So that's the difference. Or you go. No, this is yes.
I just got myself
Yeah. Okay, so if everybody's okay with this, the next thing we're going to do is using MATLAB to do temperature at the buoy. Yes.
What is the file type of
It's GeoTubes. So the .safe one. That's what it's and there's a problem with that. You will see. I had to modify MATLAB in order to be able to. Yeah. Somebody explained to me that I needed to because it didn't work. So thank God that other people are trying to do the same. So are we all okay with now moving to do thermal Landsat? 60-meter thermal Landsat? Before we then do Aug6 on CDAS. We're going to try to cover a lot. I think it's recording. I have no clue. It's in. No custom yet. So are you okay with this? Or where we are now? Everybody got to see some products? So you're ready for thermal? Now, why do we care about thermal? I mean, we're optics people. Why do we care about that? What? So some optical properties are dependent on salinity temperature. could be used for cloud masking, because clouds are much colder than the sea, so it helps in cloud masking. What else do you share with temperature? Identified for us, so for hydrodynamics, peanut gallery, can we have a, do you want to share with us the jokes? So, hydrodynamic circulation, you can sometimes identify using temperature. Something else. Wait. Something that you can measure everywhere, so just in the business of making algorithm, that's what we always do. But it's a I mean, it's, if you look in biology, is extremely tied to temperature. It's one of the strongest predictive parameters for biology. So if you're in the business of ecology, the species are strongly dependent. Phytoplankton less than many, but but many species, phytoplankton included, have temperature tolerance. And so having that information can help you a lot in selecting the likely organisms you're going to find when you're doing inversion of species composition. It's a really strong constraint on biology. So generally speaking, people doing ocean ecology don't do temperature, but I think it's in their detriment, because I think there's a lot of information on temperature. So in the and the nice thing with Landsat, it gives you 60-meter beams of temperature in the coastal environment. And now with collection 2, level 2, it's reasonable. What we're getting is reasonable compared to buoys and it's within about a degree to a degree and a half. If that tolerance you can live with, it's great. In the past, we didn't have that correction. So what we had to do, there's a paper from Andy Thomas in the Gulf of Maine from 2010, where he goes offshore, cross-calibrates the Landsats against AVHRR, and then bring that relationship to shore to then, I mean, use it to calibrate the temperature, use that regression for every image, a different one, to the environment inside the ocean. So that's what we've done in 2017, a paper with a student called Jordan Snyder, also an alumni, on aquaculture, because for aquaculture, temperature is a major parameter. But now we don't have to do it anymore. With level 2, collection 2, we can get direct temperature. Now, you'd say, but it's not direct temperature, because if you look at the file that I'm going to share with you, it doesn't have temperature in it, which is completely crazy. Again, it's these things you don't understand where people live. I know it's funny, but it's not. It's really sad when you think about it. Okay, so I'm going here, and we have, this is Landsat SST package, Lab17. Okay, so these are all things you need. You need the mmap, which is a freely available MATLAB toolbox from Reach. Is this what? Which? From UBC. It's an amazing tool. And that has been updated regularly and does a wonderful thing. This is, if you have, this is a geotiff.info.m that I had to replace inside MATLAB. I had to add 2 lines in order for it to run with Landsat images. Because they are multiple, they're geotiff with multiple layers, and this way it only reads the layer you want and not get confused with how you can run it. So this goes, this has to go to replace the one you have on your computer, if you haven't. Or you change the lines. It's these 2 lines. If you can open yours, if you can find yours, you'll have to change. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you seasick. It's. Remember which lines it is? It's here. It's the info functions here.
It's those two lines.
Those two lines you need to add. If you don't want to use the too much. These two lines, this tells it to read only the first one, the first layer. Otherwise, you cannot open the access. So tell me when you're ready. So you have to get the mmap on your path, and you have to get this done in your GeoTIFF info file. Yeah. But you just have to change it. See here. You have to add this line. These two lines. Or you replace it with a dot that I can copy this one. This is in your directory. It's these two lines. If you don't have them, you're on the ball. Right? Good job.
Spinning pointer is way better.
I added two lines under info functions. Under info functions inside GeoTIFF.app. So
Where is the GeoTIFF?
this is on your drive. GeoTIFF info.app. Where is it on your computer? It's in a map. It's in a toolbox. It's in a map toolbox. Not the mmap, a different one. You can go on Google and find exactly where it should be on the computer. I don't know. Oh, yeah, no, so you have to do, oh, sorry. So let me open it. You can see where, you can get this one from your, it's in your directory. There's two lines you need to change, but you can just copy and paste also. It's here. It's here. Yeah, there is this GeoTIFF info.
So if you say GeoTIFF info,
No, there's all the other ones. So that's why you need this one. You need to add it to it.
can you just separate data
but I don't know how much this one reads. You're right. We could have called this GeoTIFF new and maybe it would work.
Do you find the GeoTIFF command? So,
Yeah.
you find the GeoTIFF command. Yeah. But if you don't find it,
Yes, that's all.
No, I just found it. I just found it. I'm not able to find, yeah, it's just from the map. I need to have it, and it's coming from-
So a lot of the like big satellite photography sensitivities using it. And you can keep stuff online. Like, He's a professor that he has like 4 software engineers. It's really, I mean, particularly if you have like actual terabytes. People always like, yeah, and it really helps.
Like I said,
So is everybody okay with this GeoTIFF info business? No. Do I need to keep this on?
well, in the one that you gave us. the GeoTIFF
I fixed it. There's 2 lines.
added to it.
We just want this to be in the place for the other. What we do, this is the one to the one before. But it might be something. Steve calls.
I also
So guys, you will need the mapping toolbox
Yeah.
for you to run this exercise.
So the GeoTIFF is in the
Did you? How's it going? Those already can try running that. And download the SSD. Just download everything. In 25 seconds, that will not walk to the sound. Yeah, so for these, you need a map. You have the map. So, because these are all functions that are coming from Google Page and they're coming from in GeoC. That's the only one I know. You can do this for this game. Oh, that's the end.
So you get MS. It has an amazing website. It has lots of code. You can just copy and paste and modify from it to get maps that look almost identical to what the map you see is. Really powerful, really fast.
And we're downloading it anyway. I mean, that's what I'm
Just
asking
downloaded
everybody.
it anyway, so.
Yeah, so play with it. It's a very useful, very useful.
And the introduction that was up there has really good how to walk you through everything you need to do.
Maybe you're raising the. I think you can help me. I think you can help me. It's exactly the same problem. So there's a whole bunch of you who have exactly the same problem. I don't know if it's a version. Yeah, it's both. I used to be. So that's not. So you're trying to. Can you use Google and see if somebody else has had the same problem? Did you run the problem? I'm not in there yet. You got the same problem? How come? It worked. What? It worked for you, it worked for me, but for most people it doesn't. So. We don't have the same problem. Yeah, you got the book. And it could be yours. For the Google, the number of always necessary. Temperature? Yes. So I see at least 3 people managed to get it running for them. Discussion. Luca thinks he might have run the solution. Easy, it's gonna work. So these people are done with. I want you to afterwards look at this file and see why I'm frustrated. Why don't they just give us this? Why do I have to find what the coefficients are?
I got a picture.
I saw. You can, yeah, this is just the way I try to do it. Hey, guys, so you don't get this wrong. That's a does not have to be processed on that. This is just something that works for me to get temperature. You guys might find a much better, package to get temperature without all these GeoTs, without having to work that. Just wanted to get you to see that these GeoTubes, you can open them in Acolyte, in CDAS, and also in MATLAB, or whatever other Python. There's packages in everywhere. There's nothing special about MATLAB. But one thing that gets me really upset is the fact that they don't give you SSD. You have to take their file and then convert their data, because it's 16-bit integers, into temperature. And if you don't know where to find this coefficient, it's not intuitive. That there's no, you have to read their asterisk manual to figure out how to get SSD or how to get any of the factors, because it's all 16-bit. Why? No, I mean, it's all available to the world, but why don't do the experts, the tiny experts?
4 times as much, or it's like 60.
But you don't need this resolution either. Give it 0.1 degree, and then you don't need this 60, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't press the data anyway. You go to 0.1 and you're done. Sometimes people don't extra about the users. They can only think about it, but they don't know how people are going to use it. Yeah, I was telling this, Meg, I was saying what's infuriating is this, the fact that I have to calculate SST from the 16-bit integer. Instead of them giving people SST, give them what they want, don't they? Because most of them wouldn't know about the need to convert to these, to go under, up, to go read, go find, and it's like this for all the reflectors. They all have converted for up.
So it should just be a net CDF file that has that as a metadata layout. And then like you can plot it, like it auto plots the X, Y, and Z. That's what it's all about. So when you plot it, you have it has all that. When you say plot, it has
Yeah,
access.
provenance, the whole provenance. Did you figure it out? Sorry, guys. So those of you who are stuck and it's not working, nobody has been able to find the solution on Google as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So it's obviously my script is not robust. Works for 4 people out of 20.
How many people do work for 121?
21, I'm 21, for 21. 8. Yes, it's university.
What's the?
That's a lot of work.
Maybe some work to get.
So hopefully, so by the end of, before the end of the class, we'll figure out what's the problem. So we're gonna move on to something else. To do all sheet, we see that. So hopefully we'll figure it out. But what I want you to see, I wanted to see several things that I've learned in this exercise. Camila? I want to tell you several things that I learned through this exercise. One is these geotubes that when you download them, the lat and long are not always, I mean, you're getting a matrix, but the lat and long of every point are different. It's not like all these are the same long and all these are the same lat. It's a projection. And so this is why you have to deal with it. You cannot just treat it as a matrix and then assume it's running from this lat to this lat, this long to this long to this long, this lat to this lat and plug it. When I did that, I was 800 meters off the buoy. The buoy was on land. Then I went to Google and said, no, this will keep things in water. What am I doing wrong? What I did wrong is assume that I can treat it as a box. Even though it comes as a matrix, each point has a lat and long that are not in straight lines with each other. It's not like a square of distances. That's one thing I learned from this exercise. The other thing that always drives me crazy, so I'm using, another thing I learned is I can use a near infrared band to do masking of land. Land is highly reflective. If I say everywhere that's NAND, put a NAND everywhere where the reflectance in the near infrared is above a threshold, I'm getting my land around. My land. Pretty cool. I don't have to go and look for land masks and whatever. It works really well. Another thing I learned is, so this is this thing that drives me crazy that they don't give SST. They give you a 16-bit integer and you have to convert it. And you have to go and find in their literature what other conversions are. Even though they train them to literature, you look at the slide, that's not and it's true for the reflectances as well. Same story for reflectances. And finally, this is a function I really liked. This one, distance, that comes from mmap, and that allows you around the buoy to find all pixels for which you have data. So then I average them, I do the standard deviation, I get the number of them that are in my image. And so then I have statistics to compare between the buoy value when it's fast and the sun. So then you can do it for a year, winter, summer, and then see how well this works. And for these days, it's about a degree and a half warmer the satellite is compared to. Yeah. Yeah.
So you would expect it to be.
And again, it depends on the application.
Maybe they should have.
Yeah.
They should have.
Yes. So it's application. Might be that for oyster sighting, plenty good enough to be within the degree, which it is. While for other things, I need it at 0.1 degree well, that's already. But it goes to an environment we don't need high resolution. Any question about this exercise before we move to CDAS with Aug6? I know, we're kidding you. See, problem is just like, I don't. We want to get you to feel that these tools exist. We're not getting in all the details, but just to show you a little bit, to give you a sense of what it is. Some of you, like Sarah, like Anna, and possibly others, like Luca, and Patrick, know much better about some of these tools than we do. This is just a survey. It's not a comprehensive research. But there's a big community effort, and we all share and we all help each other at the start. And that's why before the end of this class to figure out this bug that you have, how to fix it, if you want to work in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are changes depending on. Did you find this useful at all in second chapter? Yes. Good. We'll get feedback from the end as well. I just want to get a sense of. In the past, what we did is you had a whole day of CDAS and learning all functionalities of CDAS with Jeremy. But the thing was, one, Jeremy's not here, and second, a lot of it, as some of what I showed, is available on YouTube. So you can go just like this Acolyte solution that I installed. There's just tons of stuff on YouTube to help you with some of it. Guillaume, do you want to? So let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll move to CDAS.
Yeah.
So hopefully all of you have CDAS on your computers.
Fixed it.
Woo!
There you are.
What?
So if you downloaded everything from Steve, and you just get it to the so the script is looking at that one.
That's the installment?
Yeah.
Woo!
What?
A solution has been found. Can you explain to people how to do it? Even before the end of the class, the solution sounds like a good sound. Did it work for you? And can we go to-
Okay, now, that's, this is flip, right? Yeah.
And you don't have to think how every time you have something. He doesn't understand how to it's very much. Why would this not?
So this is not the next one. This is like following a story about where people just like, does, they added it, it now has black. Well, I think the problem was that- Yeah.
Oh, I just put the people that it's but it actually adds to that.
Heidi is asked, Frankie is asked to keep doors and labs closed when we leave the lab. The fire.
What I would do if this conference person had this, you have it slide that specific interaction.
Dream there. I just didn't think that was. Know about it.
Yeah. So what should you got?
Just happy, I watched. I watched, say shower. Yeah, where the, up there, honestly. It was, just started. No, it is, I mean, there's a
That's in
dream.
the center now?
Yeah, it's a dream, but it's close.
So. Oh, look at that. I got some.
Go ahead.
Is it everyone?
What is happening? No, just anything that was just some images while you were finishing this. So we can start with computer. You go in your in the same share drive. There is the Lab16 in your data folder, and you have a bunch of images. The 2 years and the 2 bodies. You can download them and you just process from level 1 to level 2 of that's it's very simple. Yeah.
That processing and so those are on the drive.
Excellent.
Yeah, they are.
Very good.
No. Yeah.
Yes. How do I change the sleep time from Mac? I don't want to.
This is something I can do.
Yes, I knew that. Tell me. Maybe in the battery.
I know, I always do. Yeah, I got it.
See?
See, I'm good.
I'm pretty good at this stuff. Next generation right here.
Me either. Yeah. Why do you think? Yeah, it's a way. It's another way to. It's a good one. I think it's a good one. It's many years to install, but it's much better than it used to be. Let's put it in practice. They changed it probably 2 years ago. Did you copy everything?
Yes.
No. It's all good. We'll open CDAS. Okay, let's go.
Everybody, are you ready to go? Or no, you feel like you're ready? Or no? We're not going to be. We can postpone to next week. Or it's gonna be short. Yes. Three kicks. I'm going to do it.
That's fine.
My phone number.
We need.
So if you guys have at least 1 minute, if you have one minute, we start. Yeah, hopefully the same day.
But it's sort of,
I will teach the class.
okay, do you want to like? I know I'm losing the scene. But somebody, I have to do it. I did this one.
Okay, so if you have one image, we can start. Everyone has one image? Or everyone who wants to do it has one image? Okay. Cool. So yeah, you can open Yes. Actually, most of you already know that, but for those who don't know, we run like the basic level 1 to level 2 processing, so the atmospheric correction of CDAS. And take this one to the tool of CDAS. So when you are in CDAS, you do open product, and then you select your level 1 image that you just downloaded. Here, so I take the Modis Aqua. It shows up here. Inside you have the bands, a lot of data. But as a level 1, when you click and you open it, it doesn't look like anything that you can interpret. So from this, we will apply the atmospheric correction to get level 2 image that gives you actually the RS and any product that you input actually. So to do that, you just go to the CDAS OCSSW processor, and you click on L2 gen for level 2 generator.
All different atmospheric corrections.
No. So all of these are actually I forgot. Modis is different. So basically there is Modis needs to be geolocalized before, so you create a geo file. This is the first level. I forgot, yeah. Beers you can run L2gen directly, but for Modis you have to run this one first, then you have to run this one, and then you have to run this one. And then you will get your level 2 data. For Veers, you run directly L2gen. For Olshi, you can run L2gen on command lines. For LSI, you run also directly L2gen directly. It's also on command lines for ISA system. But as Anna said, there is a batch script that can run on command lines. I'm using also one on Python to run batch processes. And this is why I'm not really very good with the graphical interface. I never use it. So we will start with the geolocalization. So if you have it selected already, here it will give you this is the level 1 image that you input, and it will automatically give you the name of the geo file output. I use back. What did you say?
The data that we just downloaded.
Sarah, are you looking at the Aqua?
You should have it in the drive. In the drive there is a, but it's fine. You can run it on Terra.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You can run it. Yeah. So so that you can use Modis, Terra, or Aqua. Doesn't matter. Okay.
On the right, there is. Yes.
Maybe. Good, getting there. So, for those who didn't install the processor, it goes here. And if you want to install more satellites, you can, if you want. But Nick knows how to do. He can help. Okay. Did you manage to install?
The process you have to change it.
Do you think there's a permit also?
Non, mais non, on va pas le payer.
Oh, they ran all one. So they are other stuff on the other side. Oh, that's yeah. Then we can just go back.
I can show you. I can show you with here. So it's good. It looks like it's going to take ages. So I'm going to show you how to do. It's very simple. You just yeah. I'm going to show you for all the satellites. It's coming here, and then you can try if you want at home or in your dorm or on the pier. So basically you have your level 1 image, and you will, if it's MODIS, you have to apply the geolocalization. So you input your level 1, it automatically gives you the name with the geo appended at the end. You apply, you run, it's gonna do this thing, and then it's gonna produce in your folder, is going to produce a geo file here. This one, you will, when you run the next level, which is going to be level 1B. So it's the level 1B is basically the values of in units in the per steradians, and not in counts. This is you apply the calibration. So you will have your level 1 data as an input, and the geolocalized file that you just produced. You can select this option and this one, because CDAS by default creates all these files with different spatial resolution, but I usually select these two options, so it deletes this file that I don't use. But if you need different resolution, you can keep these files by unchecking like that. So you say apply and you run. It's going to create level 1B. Hmm? Okay, so it created the level 1B here in your folder, this one. And this is the one that will be used as an input for L2 gen. So the famous L2 gen, which is actually the atmospheric correction of CDAS. And in this one, when you input the level 2, the level 1B here, it's going to take a bit of time. Yes, so it recognizes the level 1B, it looks for the geo file, and it automatically gives you the name of the L2 file. And in this function, there is a lot of parameters that you can change. So you can ask for different outputs. Here I just selected RS, but if you want LW that the normal L2 of NASA doesn't provide, you can select it here and have specific custom parameters. You can have different geophysical parameters here. So this is a list that this is the default algorithm that I applied on the data. And you can have IOPs. You can choose to use different. You can have also ancillary, meteorological data. So you have wind speed, but it doesn't work with all the satellites. I haven't tested them a lot, but you'll figure it out if you need them. And you can have different models for atmospheric correction. Again, this is a good way to try all the models, and if you validate with your in situ data, you see which one match the best, and so it's going to be more adapted to your environment. And then you can also propagate your error in your output file and use them in your calculation, which is pretty good. Then you have a bunch of options that they never changed, but you could play with this as well. I'm not a professional with this, but probably some of you, have you played with this with all the parameters? Did you see the difference? Yes. Wow. So VJ can explain you. Yeah. So you have different BRDF corrections, and you have the aerosol. You have different models that you can use. You can change the gain also of the sensor. If, for example, the sensor degrades over time, and NASA says that Moody's aqua processing should be different, the gain should be changed. So either they change it directly in their pre-processing levels, or you have to change it here. You have a glint correction. So this is standard, but there is different glint corrections. So you can remove it if you think that the glint corrections provides very bad outputs. You can remove it. You can remove the mask cloud if you think that for example, for trigodesmium sometimes has a very high reflectance in the red and can be considered as cloud. So you might want to, if there is very high concentration of trichodesmium, you might want to remove the mask cloud, otherwise it will remove all the pixels that you're interested in. That's my case. And turbid water as well in coastal waters. The mask length. So here we are using a satellite with 1 kilometer resolution, but for other sensors, for example, Sentinel 2, the resolution of the sensor is higher than the resolution of the mask length. So you might want to uncheck this one, otherwise it will mask part of the data that you're interested in. And that's pretty much it. And you can run, and this will take a little while. It's going to produce the.
That's awesome. I really. That's great.
No.
I have a PC, I can't do CDAS, so.
Yeah, for now, yeah, they wanted to. They said we're gonna make it available for Windows last April.
Friday. It's traffic Friday.
So, and then we can have a look to the image. So it created a level 2 image in which you can have chlorophyll, in the Gulf of Maine we are here. So very high resolution, as you can see. So probably the buoy is here. I would suspect.
Oh, wow.
So so that's why high resolution is very good for coastal waters. But once you go back, it's pretty good for open ocean.
It's all clouds that were messed up.
Land also, mostly land and a bit of clouds here. Yeah. But anyway, so there is a little tool, and then you can, from this image, you can subset it. So this morning I tried to subset before processing. So you can input the lighting a box, but you want to apply the transfer just on this box and not have the whole image. But it gave me the image completely narrow with the latitude, longitude, and completely inverse. And I have no idea why, but when I process it without this subset, it works. But then you can actually subset it afterwards, and so you can have something like that, or you can even cut it. You can define a zone here for the Gulf of Maine. You go to the subset. You go to raster subset. And then you select the Gulf of Maine. And it's going to create a subset here. That will just show the Gulf of Maine. Okay, then you can work on this one, and you can save this image instead of keeping the whole image. And on this, there is also another one. Yeah, there is this little tool that shows you the values on the pixel you are in. Here it shows you KD, aerosol optical thickness, and RS, but I will just change to show only. How did I do, Emmanuel? I don't remember. Yes, but what was it? Filter, yeah, here. So if you want to see the spectral view, you go to optical spectral view. It will open this window. And then once you're in it, you can apply filters. So you go here, you apply filters, and you can unselect the KD and aerosol optical thickness. And so now when you point on a pixel here, you will have RS spectrum showing up. So when you go very close to shore here in a peak of chlorophyll, you will see the spectrum completely changing. So from far from the shore to cloud, like higher concentration of chlorophyll. And so what I used to do, because the satellite don't overpass in the same time during the day, your pixel might be shaded by a cloud. So what I used to do is process all the NASA satellite together. I process the 2 views and the 2 modis. And so I can use way more pixels and I have some image. And the values between sensors are very consistent because they apply corrections between sensors and atmospheric corrections the same way. But this is also a good way to see if there is one sensor that is completely off. That might be that your atmospheric correction didn't work on this pixel on this sensor, then you can use the other. So this is why I took the 2 Modis Aqua Terra and the Veers to do this. Do you want to try the one last image? So did you finally got it working? No. No. Nick? No. So I will load a Veers image because the process is a bit different. So I'll show you how to do that. You open the level 1 Veers. So we'll take SNPP. I select it here. And I run here this time. When you download it, you need to download the geo-localized file separately. GhettoC actually, when you download level 1 of Veers, it automatically downloads the corresponding geo-localized file, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you do it from OceanFlow, you have to download 2 files. And once you have these 2 files, you can run directly L2Gen. Here you go. It recognizes the level 1 data, the corresponding geo file, and it will give you the level 2 name. You apply, you can change whatever you want in this, and you run. And, On my finger, on my finger.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I have stuff anyone's using? I steal the parts of the filter. Okay, it's fine. Wait, the floor filter. Like the back.
Let's see, filter for.
We can be back, it needs to be back to the back. Nobody's gonna filter outside.
Oh, but like, you know, you just filter seawater, but not.
Not filter, not filter, okay, awesome. Study the.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have a level 2 virs. And so the level 2 virs look like that. So I will subset it with the same raster subset thing. Let's go for local name. Okay. So it is Here we go, viewers. Yes. So it's probably because it's not a main or and also there is Landsat 7 at some point started to have this white line. And for many years we had that. Okay. So I think it's yes, exactly.
Fun with you, brother.
Yeah.